we're at the VetArt studio in Vista, California, and I'd like to introduce you to the founder and the executive director of VetArt, the Veterans Art Project, is Stephen Macks Dilley. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Cheryl. I'm really happy to be here talking with you.
Okay, great. Me too. I think it would be interesting if you could tell the audience how you came upon this brilliant idea and that it was collaboration with some other people and the progress that you've seen since you started this VetArt.
You know, it was really a desire to want to help people. And I really wanted to help people through ceramics, was something I always practiced in my life. I was fortunate to have that. And most importantly, that I always used ceramics, and the process of ceramics is what I did to survive. And it gave me an opportunity to be in process. It gave me an opportunity to share ideas. And it was an opportunity to be in community. And that community is like any other community. It supports and it's critical, but it's a great community to be in. And so I just took all that and said, hey, living here in San Diego, what a great thing to share with people. And we proposed and ran our first class in 2009 at Grossmont College, which was funded by the Associated Student Government at Grossmont College. And of course, Renee Teller was the veteran counselor there during that time. And in the ceramics lab as an adjunct teaching there, I was also having this idea and speaking with Al Ventura, senior lab technician at Grossmont College. And he was saying, we have to do this. This is a no-brainer. And, and we did. We ran it. And there was some pushback from other faculty there, but we had really an amazing, successful run of classes and getting veterans in there. And really just like, hey man, we're just doing this thing in the clay. And, it's important to think that when you propose running a ceramics program for veterans, decision makers think, well, what's ceramics? What's that going to do? And I really think that for a lot of people, they have a chance to start with something that it may look like patty cakes, but as they come back and start practicing it and they're getting results back and they're sharing, is that it's very empowering for people. And, one thing led to another. And, we've been fortunate. San Diego has a big veteran and active duty population. There's a huge need here. Of course, VetArt is also a DoD SkillBridge location. So we're getting people in transition before they start using their GI Bill. And we're getting them to really think of and practice art as a way to decompress. And part of that decompression is, hey, we're going to do clay and we're going to look at art and we're going to talk about art. And by the way, we're going to go visit museums and we're going to have them share their stories. And when they share their stories, we think that our story is only unique to me. But I think what's been proven time and time again is that when veterans share their story, it is profoundly universal. And when that happens, other veterans come and then they tell them and they say, hey, you know what, that exact same thing happened to me. So these are not like big things, but there are a lot of little things that add up. And, case in point, we had a SkillBridge. Alyssa Haas came through VetArt. This week she called me and we talked, and she's studying art in the University of North Carolina. And she's going to be an artist and an arts teacher after 6 years in the Marine Corps. And she said, hey, Steve, did you do a conference up in Salt Lake this year? And I said, well, yeah, we were up there. We did this, that, and the other. That was with Erica Halverson on Arts Educators Save the World. And she said, my ceramic teacher listened to that, and he was asking me about VetArt. And Alyssa said, yeah, that's where I did my SkillBridge. Of course I know Steve. We did this whole thing together, and that's why I'm here in your class today. And then he said, well, what about the other guy that did and she said, oh, he does faces. Oh, that's Reginald Green. And he was there working too. So, there's an incredible support system within the education system. When we're talking within the NCCA, National Council on Education and Ceramic Arts, there's 7,000 members there. There's 3,000 to 4,000 members there that teach at colleges and universities across the United States. And that when we activate that group of people, that we really have this whole system ready to support veterans as they start their educational journey. And when they're starting that educational journey, every person that gets a BA degree in America needs to get a humanities requirement done. And the ceramics is how you can do that. And so, there's just like a whole thing ready to help people here that maybe I think a lot of people have overlooked for a long time.
Well, you speak about the impact, and that's really what you're doing, is you're impacting the lives of veterans who didn't know that they could become artists. They never even thought about that possibility. It's like something you just think about, maybe wishful thinking, but can you really become that? And I think that's a real testimony to what you do here in the veteran community in Southern California, is you teach people to look beyond, to think beyond the voices in the head that prevent them from doing things.
I think, Cheryl, that the voices in our heads, we all hear them, we all understand, and that in America, there's a lot of stigma about being an artist. And time again, people tell me, male, female, old, young, fat, tall, the whole, right? And they say, man, all I wanted to do when I graduated high school was to be an artist and to study art. But someone in my life said, child, you're never going to make it as an artist. And so they do what many people do, and then they join the service. And if after they have gone and served in the military, maybe 4 years, 6 years, 10, 15, 20 years, right? And then they come and they tell me, and they say, man, all I ever want to do is study art. But if we don't have a place like this that's available for those individuals, those are just unrealized dreams. And unrealized dreams can be one of these things that are very destructive. But have a place that supports these individuals while they investigate and pursue that. Didn't they earn that opportunity? They signed up, they went into harm's way, they supported that, and now they're back here. And if they can't do that, then none of us can do that. So I think it's just like it's just what I believe is the right thing to be doing.